Welcome to the Explainer. So artificial intelligence is absolutely transforming how we build the digital world right now. We're rapidly moving away from this era of purely manual typing and, endless searching through documentation straight into an era of intelligent assistance. Today, we're unpacking a tool that's fundamentally changing what it means to write software. We are talking about GitHub Copilot.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the rise of AI assistants, how Copilot actually works under the hood, those core developer features, building real-world apps, how it stacks up against the competition, and finally, its limitations and what the future holds. Let's just dive right in.
Section 1. The Rise of AI Assistants. Basically, the end of repetitive coding.
To really understand why tools like this even exist, we have to look at the core problem of modern coding. It's incredibly complex. Developers today are juggling multiple programming languages, massive frameworks, endless APIs, complex cloud platforms. It's a lot. Juggling all of that drains your mental energy, largely because so much time is spent just typing out repetitive, boilerplate syntax. Well, enter GitHub Copilot. It's an AI-powered coding assistant developed by GitHub, Microsoft, and OpenAI. But honestly, the most revolutionary part of this is that it provides suggestions directly inside your development environment. You aren't switching windows to ask a chatbot a question. The AI is sitting right there in the code with you. It takes the boring, repetitive load right off your plate so you can focus on actual problem solving.
Section 2. How GitHub Copilot works. Let's look at the intelligence behind the code.
The secret to how this works is beautifully simple. You just code exactly like you normally would. It operates in this continuous, 5-step loop that happens in milliseconds. Step 1, you write some code, or honestly, even just a simple comment in plain English explaining what you want to do. Step 2, Copilot instantly reads the surrounding context of your file. Step 3, the AI predicts the most likely lines of code that should come next. Step 4, you, the human who is always in charge, decide whether to accept, modify, or reject that suggestion. And Step 5, the loop repeats continuously. And if the AI suggests something completely wrong, you just hit the escape key and it vanishes. No harm, no foul. You remain the boss at all times.
The absolutely crucial point here is zero friction. You don't need to completely change your workflow or learn some complicated new software suite to use it. Copilot integrates directly into the environments you already know and love, like Visual Studio Code, JetBrains, or NeoVim. And whether you're building a web app in JavaScript and TypeScript, writing highly performant backend logic in C++ or Go, or doing data science in Python, the AI is fluent. It speaks your language natively, right inside your preferred editor.
Section 3. Core developer features explained. We're talking ghost text, chats, and sparkles.
So in daily practice, navigating Copilot really just comes down to knowing when to use which feature. First up, we have ghost text. Think of this as your passive, invisible helper. It triggers automatically. If you create a variable, Copilot instantly anticipates your next move and generates the rest of the line in faint gray text ahead of your cursor. You literally just press Tab to accept it. Second is the inline chat, which you trigger by hitting Control+Command+I. This is a highly targeted surgical tool. It brings up a tiny little chat box exactly where your cursor is. It's absolutely perfect for iterating on a specific block of code, complete with a live comparison view before you accept any changes. Finally, we have the sidebar chat. This is your active heavy lifter. Using this functions almost exactly like having a senior developer sitting right next to you. It's best for brainstorming, figuring out broad implementation details, or asking wide-ranging architecture questions about your entire project.
This totally unobtrusive design philosophy is incredibly powerful. As you work, especially in environments like VS Code, you'll occasionally see this little sparkle icon pop up. It's a targeted intervention. It might show up when you highlight a really dense, complex function, or, and this is a lifesaver, when you encounter one of those cryptic compiler errors that makes absolutely no sense. Instead of spending hours hunting down obscure errors on forums, you just look for the sparkle, click it, and Copilot steps in to explain the exact error and offer a quick one-click fix right then and there. It's a real game changer.
Section 4. Building real-world applications. Going from simple login pages to full PDF mergers.
When we talk about building real applications, it's super important to recognize Copilot's dual utility. For complete beginners and students, it radically lowers the barrier to entry. It literally acts as an AI programming tutor sitting next to you 24/7, ready to break down unfamiliar concepts in simple terms, or help you learn a completely new framework from scratch. But for seasoned professionals, it acts as a massive multiplier for your output.
instead of manually typing out tedious form validation for a standard login page for the 1,000th time or writing those exact same database queries you've written 100 times before. You just let the AI generate the boilerplate. This frees the professional to focus all their brain power entirely on the complex, unique business logic of the app.
Let's look at an actual timeline of building a functional application using Copilot's newer capabilities. Imagine you want to build a custom web tool to merge PDFs. In minute 1, you prompt Copilot to create a modern HTML and CSS user interface, and it generates the layout effortlessly. By minute 5, you ask it for the backend logic. It tells you to install Flask and the PyPDS2 library and writes the exact Python code to connect them. By minute 10, you have a fully active application. You can literally drag and drop 3 different PDFs right into your browser, click Merge, and it instantly combines them. What used to require hours of reading documentation and debugging dependencies now takes minutes. I mean, that is a truly documentary-worthy shift in productivity.
Now, to achieve that level of rapid, multi-file application building, developers are stepping into advanced workflows utilizing Copilot's agent mode. To access these bleeding-edge features, you typically use the VS Code Insiders build. Here, you can select specific, incredibly powerful AI models, like Claude 3.5 or the paid tier of Claude 3.7 Sonnet, to act as the underlying brain powering your Copilot agent. You can even utilize voice chat. You can literally hit a microphone icon and say out loud, "Hey, let's add a navigation bar to this application," and just watch as the AI autonomously writes the code and updates your files instantly. Absolutely wild.
Section 5. Copilot versus the competition. Navigating the wider AI coding landscape.
The biggest debate in the developer community right now is almost always GitHub Copilot versus Cursor AI. Looking at the facts impartially, GitHub Copilot is highly cost-effective at around $10 a month. It integrates directly into the standard tools you already use, and backed by the sheer weight of Microsoft and GitHub, its agent mode is improving day by day. On the other hand, Cursor AI runs about $20 a month. Cursor is a dedicated editor built from the ground up specifically for AI, and a lot of developers feel it currently offers a smoother, incredibly fast user interface for those agent tasks. It also naturally indexes your entire codebase right out of the box, providing the AI with massive context. Both are phenomenal tools for sure. The choice fundamentally depends on your specific workflow needs, your budget, and whether you prefer deep integration into your current setup versus a dedicated AI-first editor.
But, the AI coding ecosystem extends far beyond just writing and editing text. Take the number 14 here. That represents a 14-day free trial for a tool called CodeRabbit. While Copilot acts as your brilliant writer, tools like CodeRabbit shift the focus entirely to reviewing. It plugs directly into your code repository and reviews your work exactly like a senior human developer would. It leaves constructive feedback, finds hidden bugs, and even generates automated pull requests. The AI revolution now spans the entire development lifecycle, from the very first line of code you write to the final deployment review.
Section 6. Limitations and the Future. Why human review is still and always will be essential.
It's very easy to get swept up in the magic of AI generation, but we have to apply the yes but technique here. Yes, it is incredibly fast, but there are critical limitations you absolutely must understand. First, Copilot can and will generate hallucinated code. This is code that looks confidently correct to the naked eye, but is logically flawed or entirely fictional, like suggesting a terminal command that simply doesn't exist. Run that blindly, and things will break. Second, if you rely entirely on agents to build your app, you run a severe risk of losing control and understanding of your own codebase. If a critical bug appears later, you just won't know how to fix it. Finally, security. You must be incredibly careful never to feed sensitive company information, passwords, or live API keys into AI prompts. Human judgment isn't just a nice backup, it is absolutely essential. Always remember, you are the pilot, Copilot is strictly the assistant.
So, what should you take away from all this? Well, GitHub Copilot represents one of the most massive leaps forward in engineering productivity we have ever witnessed. By handling the repetitive syntax, it empowers developers to be big-picture architects and creative problem solvers. But this landscape is moving at lightning speed. As new, highly capable, autonomous coding agents enter the market, the competition is getting incredibly fierce. Which leaves us with a pretty provocative question. Will newer agentic tools eventually dethrone the current king as the industry standard? Will Claude Code dethrone GitHub Copilot? Find out in our next explainer. Thanks for learning with us today. Keep coding and stay curious.